which makes him our current and our future mayor. Please join me in welcoming the good mayor. Thank you,
sir. All right, it is happy to be up here in front of you guys and with you guys for our State of the City address again. So right at the beginning, just want to let you know that the state of our city, we are very financially strong, and we're really, really super busy. And I get a chance to talk about a lot of these things. I'm going to talk pretty quickly, so please hang with me because we only have a certain amount of time. We also have the county judge executive who's going to deliver the State of the County address right after me. Just a few highlights before we move on to the staff recognition is over the last 4 years, the first term as mayor and with 2 different commissions, but largely the same people, we've been able to cut taxes. So we cut our real and personal property tax rates. We've left the other tax rates the same. So our occupational tax rate and our insurance premium tax rate have not changed. At the same time, we've grown our reserves to near record levels. And right now, we are at near record activity level at the city, which you will learn more about as we go through. Now I'd like to recognize the staff, if you don't mind. So just a few of the highlights. You've got little printouts at your table that tells you a lot about what's been going on at the city. A couple of other things that I just want to mention very briefly. Our Public Works Department is going to be designing a program to take over our recycling program here locally with our Public Works Department over the next year. So sometime within the next fiscal year, you can expect to see that the people who service your recycling are going to be the same as the people who service your trash collection. And they do a really good job. And they do a really good job of responding to our needs and concerns, and so I'm looking forward to that. HMP&L has worked really hard throughout the year to build out that fiber network in town, and now we have multiple options for internet, which is something that we've desperately needed for a long time. They provide a really good service at a really good rate. If you have not checked out what's available from them, please do so. Henderson Municipal Gas has been working with the county to extend gas out into the county to places where it hasn't been before. And then for the first time in our history, salaries at our police and fire, entry-level salaries, are now north of $50,000 with a really good benefits package. If you know somebody who needs a good job, doing some very good work that's very much appreciated by our community, please let them know that, that our hazardous duty departments are open for business and are hiring. So if you are a member or an employee of the city of Henderson, or if you're an employee of one of our utility partners, please stand so that we can give you a round of applause. When I stand up here and talk about what's going on at the city, these are the people who are making that work, and I really do appreciate every one of you. It's not always easy. There's a lot of challenges, but we appreciate the work that you do. Our city commission, I could not do anything by myself, and we cannot do anything by ourselves. But the city commission has been integral, a part of what we have done and continue to do so. And so I want to recognize Commissioner Kelsey Hargis, Commissioner Robert Pruitt, and Commissioner Rodney Thomas. If you all would, please stand so that we can give you a round of applause. If you notice, I did not mention 4 people because we recently had a commissioner who had to resign, Nick Witt. He did a wonderful job and resigned on good terms. Just to let you know, on Tuesday, July 28th, which is this coming up Tuesday, we will be naming a replacement for Nick Witt to serve the rest of the year at the City Commission, so please be on the lookout for that. I also want to talk about one specific person in our city employment. His name is Buzzy Newman. Clap if you know who Buzzy Newman is. I'm not going to have him stand because sometimes he gets embarrassed in front of people. We won't do that to him. But what I did want to say, Buzzy, is Buzzy's leaving us in February. He's going to be retiring. He has been a huge part of what goes on at the city for so long. He's been a friend and mentor to me and to so many people in the room. And he is largely responsible for a lot of the things that are going on now. And him and Dylan Ward, our current city manager, are working really, really well together. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Buzzy, thank you for the many years that you've given to the city. It wouldn't be the same without you. We really appreciate you. And I don't want to even think about replacing you anytime soon. Just the thought of replacing Buzzy is too much. But if you're interested in becoming the next assistant city manager, there's a QR code. It'll actually take you to a landing page to apply, and we are accepting applications right now with the idea of trying to hire somebody before the end of the year so that maybe we can get somebody trained up who eventually can become the next Buzzy Newman and make an impact on the city just like you did. So thank you for your years of service. We really appreciate it. Next, I want to talk a little bit about infrastructure. Going to go through these pretty quickly, like I said. On infrastructure improvements, right up the street on 2nd Street, you've noticed that we've made a lot of progress on our new fire station. Last year, I stood up in front of you and said, hey, we're building a fire station. By the spring of 2027, we should have that thing open. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, and so now we're anticipating before the end of the year. We're going to have it open. It's going to come in close to right at budget. And so that should be ready, and you can look forward to seeing our firefighters serve out of that station for years to come, starting early next year. Conference Center, we've talked about that thing for 4 years. We're finally at a spot where we're about to break ground over in Audubon State Park. And so it's either going to be, depending how the chips fall, in the fall of this year or spring of next year, when you can expect a groundbreaking on the new Conference Center. It'll be about a year and a half build out. And so by the summer, maybe fall of 2028, is when we're anticipating having the Conference Center in place. At 41 in Watson Lane, that's going to be a big infrastructure project that you all should be aware of because it's going to impact our lives for a while. Right now, so before I started on the commission, which was back in 2017, the commission before me was Jesse Johnston and Robbie Mills and Jan Height and XR Royster. That commission spent some time working with the state and designing a project that would eventually lead to the widening of Watson Lane at the intersection of Watson and 41. And they are going to start doing they anticipate, let me use that word, a better word. We're anticipating the state is going to start doing relocates for utilities to allow for that to be widened, and that those should start probably sometime before the end of the year or maybe before next spring. And it's going to be a total redesign of that intersection. The intersection itself is going to be the same, where you have two roads going and they're perpendicular and all that. But there are going to be more lanes, especially on the Watson side, on the Sherway side of the highway. And they're going to widen the roads and put in some new curbing. And it should really help once they redesign the traffic patterns there with issues that we've seen that are recurring issues at Watson Lane. We've got a new transfer station that's going to be designed within the next fiscal year. Right now, our transfer station is out on Wolf Hills Road, has been for many years. That is going to move to Borax Drive. And so we're in the process of designing that and figuring out how the financial piece of that is going to work. And that should happen within the next year in terms of finalizing the design, and then hopefully we can move on to the construction part soon after. And then Garden Mile Road, thanks to the help of our state legislators, Robbie Mills and J.T. Payne, we had a really good, successful budget session. The city worked very close with them on a number of things to bring back money into the city. Garden Mile Road is an example of that. And so the state, through a competitive process, is giving us the funds to repave Garden Mile Road, and that should happen within the next fiscal year also. So on the next slide, I want to talk about something that's very important. You heard me say that we're at near record reserves, which is the money left over after we spend everything, basically. And that we've lowered tax rates, and yet we have a ton of activity going on, and the three of those don't really match up. It's like, all of us, if we could design a perfect government, those are probably three things that we would want to see out of our government, is all three of those things happening at the same time. Over the past 2 years and over the next 2 to 5 years, we either have received or expect to receive $67 million plus in money that did not come directly from your local tax dollars, from the state, from federal government, and a series of grants to do some big things and to do some small things in this community. And this is how we've been able to make the budget connect the way that we have and be so busy. We've had things like the folks at the airport, for example. And the airport board worked really, really super hard to get us in good position to receive close to $13 million over the course of 3 separate grants to expand the runway. And that has happened, looks beautiful, and that is an example of money that's coming back in. For the conference center, for example, the city and the county have signed a memorandum of agreement with the state where the city is providing $2.7 million. The county is providing $2.5 million toward this project to build a conference center that's going to hold up to 400 people out at Audubon State Park. Just told you about when it's going to be built out. Well, the total project cost, including the road that's going to go behind the hotels and connect over to Watson to allow for a safer exit from the park, the total project costs around $20 million. So that's an example of $15 million from the state that is coming back, that the chamber and economic development and tourism and Friends of Audubon and the city and the county and our state legislators and so many people have worked really hard over the last 4 years to put us in position to do that. Another example of something that's going to be happening in the future, and something we'll talk about a little bit more later on in the program, is the Loop Road. The Loop Road is a road that's going to connect to the backside of where Walmart is, trace the new I-69 corridor for about 1.5 miles to 2 miles, and then elbow over and connect on US 60 right where Wathen Lane is. And so it's very much is going to create an intersection on 60 at Wathen Lane to where you can go Wathen Lane North or Wathen Lane South. What that's going to do is provide hundreds of acres of developable space for housing and multifamily and retail. And it's really going to be an integral part to how we grow our community in the future and how we don't lose 5,000 to 7,000 people over the next 30 years, like this one study said a couple of weeks ago. I think we're growing at a pretty good clip right now, and I have good reason to think that our prospects in the future are great. So we'll talk more about that Loop Road in a minute. It's about $30 million project. And we're expecting through work with the state that the state is going to pay for that road and that the city is going to adopt it into our inventory as a city road for maintenance purposes in the future. So those, coupled with projects like Anthony Brooks Park grants, a grant for a new playground at the sports complex, some poured rubber surfacing at some of our parks. A few years ago, we hired a grant writer on staff, and there were some people who thought maybe we shouldn't have one, but I can tell you, directly from the grants, and some of those things were not grant projects, they were just direct money from state and federal government, but directly from grants that our grant writer has applied for, we have received more now in grants than what a grant writer would receive in pay and benefits throughout the rest of her career to retirement in about 1.5 to 2 years worth of services grant writing for the city. And so it's a very important part of what we do, and it's very important that we're bringing this money back. We're going to talk about inner city improvements for a minute. HWU did a project, a $4.6 million project to fix the water delivery to a number of residents in the inner city. It happened over the course of last year. If you notice when you drove down Washington Street, for a while it was kind of a track because they had to wait for that to settle out before we repaved in the springtime. But that was $4.6 million that was devoted there. We've got other projects that are going to happen in the inner city over the next year or that have already happened. The city provided money for suicide prevention classes. The city also provided money to Audubon Kids Zone for $25,000 worth of community action projects, which are projects that Audubon Kids Zone runs that allows individual citizens to come to them and to make improvements on their own. We've got a new business incentive package. We've got a partnership with Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity has been in existence in Henderson since 1990 for 36 years. And over that 36-year period of time, they are just about now going to reach their 100th home. I think it should happen in the fall still. Is that right, Matt? I don't know if you're out there. That's right. Thank you, wherever that voice came from. So we're going to reach about 100 houses this fall. If you do the math, that's less than 3 houses per year on average that Habitat has done since they started serving Henderson. In a 5-year period, with the city providing $100,000 and Habitat providing $100,000 each year for 5 years for a total of $1 million to take blighted properties and turn them back into affordable homes that can be used in the inner city and other areas. We are having a goal of having 10 houses per year over that 5-year period of time. And so instead of averaging less than 3, we're bumping that up to 10 plus over a period of 5 years. It's really going to do a number for our affordable housing. And then we've got a hero house we're going to break ground on. Steve Gold, who got up here and spoke earlier, he was on the initial public safety group for the Inner City Improvement Plan, and he and his group came up with a project called the Hero House. It stands for Henderson Encouraging Resident Officers. We picked out a location, and we're going to be breaking ground on building a new house that is going to house a new police officer for a period of 1 to 2 years for free. Utilities paid, rent paid, all that stuff. We're still designing the legalities for that. And that's going to serve as an incentive for the police department, but it's also going to place an officer in that area that he or she is going to be policing to help build a better rapport with the people of the area that they are policing and extend our community policing efforts. So we're really excited about that project. But the city does not have to do and cannot do everything on its own. And so I've asked members of an HLI group that has done a few projects in the East End that you've seen some news about here lately. This specific group has been responsible for redoing the East End sign over on the corner of Washington and Atkinson. And then most recently, they've done a paint-by-number street mural on the intersection of Letcher and Powell. That looks fantastic. It actually looks a lot like what the left side of this screen up here looks like. It looks exactly like that, actually. And they invited residents and kids of the area to come and help participate. And so if you were on that HLI group, would you please stand and let us give you a big round of applause for doing the work that you... Thank you. We're so proud of the work that you guys have done. And we just want to make sure that everybody in the room feels empowered to continue to do good work in the city, and we're going to do what we can to support you. On the next slide, I want to talk about our veterans. So in a minute, we're going to talk about a veteran park that is very much underway. A couple of years ago, the veterans in our community came to the city, and they asked if we could build a park to honor our veterans and to organize all the things in our community that already honors our veterans, and to add to that. And you're going to learn more about the park as we go, but I have invited the members of our American Legion Honor Guard to come and join us for lunch today. If you guys would please stand, and we want to recognize you for all the things that you do for our community, and we want to recognize you and celebrate you for the park that we're about to build in your honor. So please stand up to be recognized. So I mean when I say that it is an honor of mine every year to sit down with you guys and have lunch, listen to your stories, to share Veterans Day with you and learn about your contributions to the community and your willingness to serve in the past. And it's something that our entire community, one of the best things we do in our community is celebrate each other and celebrate our veterans. And so I'm excited for you to learn a little bit more about the Veterans Park here in a second. Collaboration. I do want to talk about the Veterans Park, and I want to talk about Anthony Brooks Park. So these are other examples of ways that we can do so much on a limited budget. The Veterans Park, they came to us and said, hey, we're going to raise some money to build some new statues, and then we're going to come to you, and we're going to come to the county, and we're going to ask for a collaborative effort to build this park that may end up costing north of $1 million in the end, but the public taxpayer money is going to be a fraction of that, maybe a quarter to a third of that, and we'll see where the numbers land. On Anthony Brooks Park, we're doing $1 million plus makeover there, but we got a $250,000 grant-ish, $250,000-ish grant from Land and Water from federal government. We got a $250,000 grant from the state as part of their grant program. And we got $260,000 that we're anticipating using from CDBG, and that left $250,000. So the city on taxpayer money for $1 million improvement for that park is going to be paying $250,000, and that's an example of things that we're doing to make improvements, but watching our pennies while we do so. We had another IRT mission this year, huge collaborative effort. Got a grant from DRA, Delta Regional Authority, that helped make that happen. They did more than $1.5 million in services for medical, dental, for veterinary care and other services. Our military came in and performed those services, and they got training hours so that if they have to do that in combat zones, that they are ready to do that. And in return, we received $1.5 million of care for people in our community and surrounding areas at no cost to us, at no additional cost to us. It's a great program. It's the second time we've had them here in the last 3 to 4 years. And hopefully in the future, we look to have them come back as well. And I owe you an update on the golf course. We haven't talked about that in a while at Players Club Bridges Golf Course. Back a long time ago, now it seems, about 8 years ago, we came up with a plan to buy the course. We paid $700,000 for this golf course. Private citizen gave $500,000 to go toward the rehab of this golf course. And we rehabbed the course. We brought it back as the Bridges. We closed down municipal golf course, which was costing us roughly $250,000 more in expenses on a yearly basis to run than what we were bringing in revenues. If you add in inflation, since the beginning of that golf course venture that we did so many years ago, the golf course is now worth north of $1.5 million for our $700,000 investment. On a yearly basis, if you add in inflation, we have saved about $300,000 per year every year that that golf course has been open as part of that deal. That's north of $2 million in savings. And then we received our first check back from the golf course operators as part of our new contract this year, where they are giving us a percentage of their profits. And so that has turned out to be a very successful venture and a great display of collaboration in our community. Talking about taking care of business, we have created an annex building for the city that houses our codes, our occupational license, and our parks departments. Until then, our parks department, in case you didn't know, has been for a long time operating out of a small house inside of a cemetery. Is where our parks department was. And now they have a little bit better of a spot where they can utilize that area and people can come visit them right there at the annex building over where the distillery is. That was part of the distillery project. We paid for H&P&L's campus and we're able to incentivize, along with the county and other people, this distillery, Rhythm River, that's going to be opening its doors in a few months. We're awfully proud of you for doing that. And then we gained a very important city asset for a building to do that. Having our occupational and codes departments in the same building means a lot for people who want to open up a business. Because beforehand, if you had to open up a business, you had to visit Barrett Boulevard, where our codes department was, and then downtown, you had to visit occupational license. Now you can visit those in one place. They're also looking at the codes. They're looking at our rules that we require of developers to bring those up to speed, up to 2026 standards and comparative to other communities, to try to make those easier on people. And we have a retail initiative where we're looking at a number of businesses. Economic development, tourism, the chamber, myself, and a couple of other people have gone out and met with a lot of developers, and we're seeking to put some new hotels here. We're looking at a new grocery store, a few select restaurants. One restaurant may not be open on Sundays that we're going after. We're looking at things that we know that you guys want. And so we've had some success having some people who have interest here, and so we're going to try to bring that on home within the next year or two. Quality of life, I want to talk about that very briefly, and then we're going to wrap up. We're looking at housing. We talked about the Habitat for Humanity deal. Dawn Kelsey, I wanted to acknowledge her here at the State of the City. She's our city attorney, but her side hustle as city attorney is she very much is into housing. And she helps develop our master commissioner sales on a yearly basis. And then she also has just now developed legislation that is going down to the Planning Commission, you'll hear about enhancing the way that we allow tiny home developments in the city in hopes to attract some people who want to develop tiny home developments here in the city. Jago is building some executive level housings. They're having one of the most successful developments that they currently have is underway, and you can go right behind Walmart. And if you haven't driven through there lately, you'll see a lot of change there. And then the Loop Road project that we talked about earlier, it's going to create hundreds of acres of space where we can put new housing. And so housing is top of mind for us because we have to have places for people to go if they want to move here. Looking at traffic safety, the Loop Road is also an important thing for traffic safety. Our number one intersection in terms of traffic wrecks and incidents is Barrett and 60 right in front of Walmart. Has been for a while. The Loop Road is going to help get traffic away from that intersection as we develop that area. 300 new homes. We've got 40 acres, the city does, of retail space that we're trying to market. So we know that area is going to grow, and we're paying attention to infrastructure. Also, for that area, we're looking at adding a new entrance and exit from 41 that's going to enter and exit our retail property that the state is working in conjunction with us. We've also applied for a Safe Streets grant for $10 million to totally redo the intersection at Barrett and 60. And we're going to be relying on our state-level engineers to show us what they think the best solution there is going to be if we receive that grant. But the one that you guys have probably seen most visibly is we changed the speed limit. So we have this area of town and Walmart and other places. When you're going east on Highway 60, we were telling traffic, hey, before you get to the Cloverleaf, let's speed you up a little bit. And we go from 35 to 45, and we speed up over one of the most confusing merging areas in the city. And then we kept that speed limit all the way through Walmart and Lowe's and Sonic and Cracker Barrel, and that didn't make a whole lot of sense to us. We thought that if it's going to be 35, we want to extend that 35 out. Thanks to that speed limit change and some enforcement, I want to tell you some numbers just real quick. 2025, July of 2025 through today, I'm going to read you the monthly incidents or traffic wrecks at that intersection. July of last year, we had 10. August was 6, September was 4, and then we go 9, 9, 9, 7, 7, 7. And then after we sent the email about changing the speed limit, we went down to 5 in April and 4 in May. After we increased our enforcement for police, we had 4 in June and 1 so far in July. And it's rare that you take a look at the numbers and they actually match up with some improvement that you made. But that's an example of something for traffic safety. We're also talking to the school system about reinstituting driver's education at the high school. That is something that the city and county and school system, hopefully all three, can partner on as we move forward. There are a lot of legalities and red tape and insurance and all this other stuff, but it's something they're willing to work with us on and we continue to explore. We've got a top 20 intersection study. As far as the top 20 intersections that have had incidents in the city, we're reviewing those for improvements such as striping and signage and delays between traffic lights, things of that nature. And then we've got a 10% compounding increase in the amount of money that we're spending on roads and sidewalk improvements. We're in year 3 of that schedule. The last part of quality of life, we're going to talk about parks, and we're not going to really talk about parks. We just completed our first Parks Master Plan, and to better illustrate that for you, we have provided a short video for you to learn more about the Parks Master Plan, and that will conclude the State of the City address as soon as the video is over. So please play the video.
We made our way in from a common interstate, looking for a place to build a life and make a name.
The City of Henderson just completed its first ever Parks Master Plan. This will be a living, breathing document that the City of Henderson utilizes over the next 5 to 10 years to kind of plan for our city.
I really think the Parks and Recs Master Plan is so important because it's giving us a roadmap for the future. This is really creating a vision that is based on what the community wants and needs.
If you don't have a plan, 5 to 10 years from now, you'll be in the same spot.
Whether it's with the chamber, whether it's the tourism, whether it's with Downtown Henderson Partnership, it's all of us working together for the common good of the city of Henderson.
So I'm standing here at the future site of Veterans Memorial Park. The Veterans Memorial Committee came to us and they said, hey, we want to build a park that's dedicated to veterans, that consolidates all these monuments so that people can come here, honor our veterans, and also those who served in every branch of service.
For the veterans of Henderson, I can't think of anything better. In conjunction with the fact that we have actually outgrown Central Park for even our Memorial Day service, it gives us another venue that we can use to honor our veterans on Memorial Day.
With Admiral Kimmel, he'll be overlooking the river and the possibility of having PTF 26 down on the river right below the park. It'll be a great asset to the park.
This is meant to be a passive park where anyone who's passing by can come in, walk through it, learn about Henderson's history, learn about our veterans, and just offer their respect and their gratitude for those who've served our country. A couple years ago, members of the Brooks family approached the City Commission and expressed their interest to make some improvements to the park.
The City of Henderson has been very receptive to our desire to see the park improved in many ways, but we were real excited to hear that there would potentially be some upgrades made and some enhancements.
We're going to have zip line,
A new restroom with a brand new playground,
brand new splash pad,
which shows the community's continued appreciation for the work and the legacy and the pioneering that was done by the Reverend Dr. Anthony M. Brooks Sr., my father.
I've talked to people as recently as today who said they would love to have a drive-in theater in Henderson. And in our past, we had a very successful drive-in movie theater that was very endearing to our community.
Yeah, back then, drive-in was always packed on Friday and Saturday nights. I think this new drive-in probably will as well.
My favorite memories of the drive-in are just going to the little house and getting some chicken and taking it back to the car and sometimes watching a movie.
And some people would miss the movie just to get the food.
It makes a lot of sense for our community, and we can run one right here at the sports complex.
Many years ago, the Tourism Commission came to the Friends of Audubon and asked them, did we have anything in mind that would be helpful for the park? we had a vision for a conference center, which happened to match up with a vision of the city and a vision of the county.
Residents will be able to utilize the conference center for local meetings, gatherings, weddings,
school groups, children's educational groups, functions for the park, functions for the community, public events for the community.
This project is a great example when everybody comes together with a shared vision. From local stakeholders to the city, state, the Friends of Audubon, all these individuals have seen how big of a draw this could be for the community as well as the state park moving forward into the future.
So we're here at Newman Park, which is one of our largest parks. Most recently, one of the things that we're looking to add is a multi-use sport court. It's going to be an open-air structure. It's going to be fenced in. It's going to have a fabric covering, basketball goals, street soccer, pickleball, small wedding, farmers market, as well as small concerts or festivals up on the hill. It's very centralized, and so we expect it to get a lot of use.
There's probably between 100 and 150 people every day play pickleball that are from Henderson, Kentucky. The excitement of pickleball is just crazy. It's addictive. We are excited to know that we are a part of the master plan, and we are looking forward to it. You know, the more we have in this city, the better we're going to get, and pickleball courts will bring in the visitors.
So my hope is that this master plan continues to inspire others, because at the end of the day, we want people to know that their voices are heard and that we have the community buy-in. You know, this is what you guys want to see, and I think that it proves that city government and community can come together, and when we do, we can accomplish some really great things.
We're just really excited about this parks master plan. We're excited about what it's going to do to our community, and I'm very confident that over the next 5 to 10 years, our community is going to be transformed because of the work that we do in trying to implement the Parks Master Plan.
Thank you, Mayor Brad Staten and the city for all the work you all do. Rolling into the State of the County portion of the program here, we're just going to queue up a video from our folks at the county, and then we'll invite our judge up after that.
Hi, I'm Henderson County Judge Executive Brad Schneider, and I'm sure all of you know that no organization can succeed without the hard work and dedication of its people. And here at Henderson County Government, we are blessed with one of the most conscientious and talented teams anyone could hope for. Our other elected officials, our department heads, our frontline employees, and our partner agencies are on duty, sometimes around the clock, to help our citizens, protect them, create new opportunities for them, and improve their quality of life. You know, sometimes these amazing folks don't get the recognition they deserve for everything that they do. So please consider this video both a recognition and a celebration of their contributions to this community, and my sincere appreciation.
And now another round of applause, please, for Judge Executive Brad Schneider.
Thank you, Corey, and thank you, Darren Fegley, for creating that video. And he's done all the State of the County videos. He's awesome. But watching that, it struck me, some people are a hell of a lot more comfortable in smiling and waving at a camera than others. Where's Randy Tassa, my friend Randy Tassa? Did you see Randy Tassa? It looked like he was about to testify at a murder trial, didn't he? And then Brian Bishop. He looked like he was trying to wave down a taxi in Times Square. That's funny, though. In addition to all the great people mentioned in that video, I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Mayor Staten and our great friends at city government. I think his presentation illustrated the cooperative spirit that we have between city and county government. And I've said many times, that is not the norm in Kentucky. And I think it's a part of the reason we've succeeded in so many ways in the last decade plus. And I really appreciate that partnership. And I hope the people of the community feel that. I want to thank Senator Mills and Representative Payne. They do a great job for us. Thank you to Henderson County Schools, Henderson Community College, all of the volunteer first responders we have, the City County Rescue Squad, our ambulance services, our county constables, all the folks who serve on behalf of the county on boards and commissions, and any of you and all of you, even members of the Rotary Club who help Henderson County be a better place. I couldn't resist, Corey. I didn't want to gig the Rotary too much because as a proud Lion, it's kind of my duty, I think. But thank you to everybody, including the Rotarians who help make Henderson County better. I also want to say thank you to Clay and her team for hosting this every year. It's a great event, and I say thank you to your volunteers and everybody who helps our business community. Ladies and gentlemen, on multiple fronts, by about any way you can measure, Henderson County and its government are strong. And that's not just my opinion. According to data kept by the Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis, local household incomes here are at an all-time high. Unemployment rates remain low. The percentage of local citizens in poverty has dropped 25% in the last 10 years. And we continue to add good-paying jobs. Our county's annual domestic product topped $2.27 billion by the end of 2024, and it's the highest it's been in 20 years. You factor in new coal production into that GDP figure, it's likely to top $3 billion by the end of this year, and again, that'll be an all-time high. The I-69 bridge, for so long a dream most thought could never happen, will actually break ground next spring and be finished by 2031 or perhaps sooner, and take its place as an economic driver that will help fuel job creation and prosperity in Henderson County and the tri-state for generations to come. In the meantime, county government has the wherewithal to not only handle our normal responsibilities, but also make investments above and beyond those typical costs. And the mayor listed some of those that we've done in partnership with the city. What's more is in infrastructure, for example, in the last 12 months, we've spent more than $2 million on roads, bridges, ditches, specifically in our ability to increase the miles of road in the county that are hard surfaced. Putting blacktop on roads that have historically been gravel not only makes them safer for the families that live on them, but also is a quality of life factor that just makes their lives easier. In public safety, we are in the early stages of an $8 million expansion of our detention center, adding 100 beds that will make it safer for our deputies, safer for current inmates, and allow us to continue to take in more federal prisoners, which creates revenue that keeps our jail running in the black, which is certainly a blessing for our community and our taxpayers. It's rare in the state to find a jail that actually pays its way. We also have upgraded our network of storm sirens to make them more efficient, more effective, and we continue to invest in new equipment and new tools for our sheriff's department so those deputies have what they need to protect us all and themselves. In our parks department,
We recently refurbished and improved the concession stand and picnic area at Basket Park Ball Field. And we also completed new permanent bathrooms at Sandy Lee Watkins Park, and hopefully we can do more of that. I want to mention Nick Stallings. We were talking about grants, and we don't have a professional grant writer on staff at the county, but Nick himself has arranged for $7 million in grants coming into the county in the next few years to both improve safety on our roads and other projects, and I really appreciate his work. That's not necessarily in his job description, but he does it anyway because he cares. In economic development, we incentivized expansions and new jobs at Taubensee Steel and Eastern Alloys, and with the assistance of the 4-Star Park Board of Directors and Henderson Economic Development, we've had a lot of activity, a lot of interest in the million-square-foot pad out at Sandy Lee Watkins Park, and I hope that becomes the next place where we have large industry settle in our community. We also continue to improve our pay and benefits packages for our employees so that we can help keep our best and brightest, because that's how we can best serve you. We have also invested in needs and projects that are not technically our obligations, but just the right thing to do. We contributed $3 million to the Henderson County Water District to help them fix a leak problem that had threatened that organization's solvency and also made life harder on their customers. I'm happy to report that their leak issues have decreased significantly, and they're on the road back operating in the black and providing potable water for everybody in the county that needs it. As the mayor mentioned, we committed more than $100,000 in partnership with Henderson Gas to provide natural gas lines to the citizens of Geneva and Smith Mills for the first time, so they have that option instead of having to have a big propane tank in their backyard. We committed more than $350,000 in opioid settlement funds to help educate children in our community about the dangers of opioid and opioid addiction. We also are helping fund case management for people who find themselves in the judicial system due to opioid addiction or crimes. We also donated well over $300,000 to Deaconess Henderson to buy pain management equipment that might help reduce their need to use opioid prescriptions to treat post-surgical patients. We committed more than $350,000 to volunteer fire departments for training, recruitment, and also direct assistance to their departments, and we really appreciate everything they do for our community. We set aside $150,000 once again for a long list of nonprofits to help them achieve their missions that serve our community. And we've also committed and invested $400,000 for 5 Habitat homes in Corydon, one of which is built, 2 of which break ground tomorrow. It's satisfying to me to read that list off to you, because in March of 2016, when I took office, none of that would have been possible. At that time, we only had $700,000 in our general reserve fund, 3% of total operating expenses. County checks had bounced, equipment was falling apart, employees were still feeling the sting of mandatory furloughs the year before, and the county had millions of dollars in bonded debt. As of today, the county's general fund cash reserve is at $48 million, and we are completely debt-free. In many respects, Henderson County now has the financial strength to do just about whatever it wants, whenever it wants, to protect, support, and grow our community. What a difference a decade can make. And we did this having just passed the 11th straight annual budget that did not grow county tax rates by a single penny, not 1 cent. Not only did we not raise taxes, we dropped them. We cut our insurance premium tax in half, putting $2 million back in the pockets of Henderson County families in the coming year. However, despite all that good news, there are some warnings of choppy seas ahead. Like just about every community in the tri-state, we still need more options in housing and childcare, and those are improving. And I really applaud the work in Henderson Economic Development working with JAGO to provide more of those housing options, which has a knock-on effect, I think, every time somebody buys a new home in Bentley Park, named for my grandson. No, just kidding. they leave behind a home here that somebody else can buy in a cheaper tax bracket. So I think it has a multiplying effect. More so than some communities, though, we are exposed because we have such a large manufacturing sector to consequences of recession due to inflation, trade wars, tariff policy, supply chain problems, and even immigration challenges. I firmly believe our county's economy is still diversified enough, thanks to many of you in this room, and I think helped with the strength of Henderson County's financial position, that we can weather a downturn and bounce back quickly. As for county government, I firmly believe, let me say this, I know in my heart that to give Henderson County the best chance to grow and prosper in the future, we need thoughtful, conscientious, and fair-minded leaders who understand they represent all of our citizens, regardless of which side they fall in a community debate. I urge you, when you go to the polls in November, to cast your votes for people who demonstrate those values. And that's all I have to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my last State of the County address, so I hope you'll indulge me for a couple minutes. Serving as your judge executive has been the honor of a lifetime, and is just the most recent gift this community has given me. It is here that I was offered the chance to start a professional career that has afforded me experiences, opportunities, and friendships I never could have imagined when I first walked in the newsroom at the Gleaner in 1988 at age 22. Back then, my plan was not to stay in Henderson. I wanted to write sports and newspapers in big cities. But that dream changed when I took my shot at the most beautiful woman I'd ever met in my life, Miss Kelly Blanford. And she let me take her out on a date. And that's when I knew I wasn't going anywhere. I was staying in Henderson. No, I take that back. I knew I wasn't going anywhere when she told me she wasn't leaving Henderson, and I had a choice to make. It was either her or the road, and I think I chose wisely. Since then, we've been each other's biggest cheerleaders. We planted our flag as a couple here. We raised our kids here. This is my forever home. It's the best place on earth. And let me also say this. It's not easy being the spouse of an elected official. And Kelly has handled that with grace and style, especially in the last 12 months. For those of you who know her, that should come as no surprise. A huge thanks also to my team at the Judge Executive's office and my fellow members of Fiscal Court who are here today. When the folks you work shoulder to shoulder with every day are not only great at their jobs, but they're good people, and they become your good friends, it makes life a joy. Thank you so much for all the support you gave me, to members of Fiscal Court and my team, and everything you do both for the community and everyone else in county government. Where are you? Where are you all sitting? Magistrates and my team. I love you guys. And to all of you here in this room and to the people of Henderson County, I have nothing but sincere and humble gratitude for putting your trust in me over the last 10 years. Being in elected office can be both a daunting challenge and the most fun job you can ever imagine. With every controversy, there's also a chance to make a positive difference in the lives of thousands of regular folks, and not every occupation is like that. What the future holds for me is yet to be determined. I did ask Clay if she would put copies of my resume on all the tables. Did we get that done, Clay? We didn't? Well, shucks. I tell you what, we'll have a one-man job fair table out in the lobby after I'm done. Come see me. Be happy to talk to you. Whatever my next assignment is, I hope history will be kind in judging my time in office. I have always been and always will be a champion for Henderson County. I believe I have always tried to do the right thing, even when it was not politically expedient. You know, I can imagine being in a job interview in the near future here and being asked, so what did you do as Judge Executive, Brad? What did you accomplish? What was your favorite victory? How was it? And what I will say to that question is what I'll leave you with here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I'm leaving it a whole lot better than I found it. Thank you.
I've never had to pick a microphone up off the stage before I started. My name is Clay Gillum. I'm the Executive Director of the Henderson Chamber, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to host you all today for these updates. I want to clarify that nobody asked me, but if they had asked me to describe the state of the city of Henderson and the county, I would say that we're at an inflection point. This feels like a precipice that we have not seen in recent history, certainly not in my lifetime. The infrastructure advancements, the economic growth, a vibrant downtown, engaged civil servants, inspired nonprofits, community projects and partnerships, healthy reserves, all the ingredients are here. What's also interesting is that if you talk to people who have gotten to Henderson and chosen to make it their home, some of those things may be what got them here, but usually if you ask what kept them here, it's the people. It's you all. It's us. I think you could see today that we have not gotten to the point that we've gotten to on the back of 1 or 2 or 10 people. And that's good because it's not 1 or 2 or 10 people's job to take us where we're going next. It's ours. It's all of ours. And so as you leave today, I hope that you feel uplifted and inspired about what you've seen. I hope that you feel enthusiastic about the future of Henderson. I know that we do. I also hope you know that you are a part of it, and that whatever your vision for the future of Henderson is matters, and there's an opportunity to build it here that you won't see in a lot of other places. On behalf of the Chamber, I would like to thank Judge Executive Brad Schneider for 10 years of service to Henderson. Public service is not easy, and anybody willing to take on that risk and put their name in the hat deserves our appreciation, so thank you. I'll say another thank you to our sponsors, our ambassadors, our public policy committee, and of course our wonderful staff hiding in the back. We couldn't do any of this without you all. I can't leave without telling you our future events, but it feels a little somber right now to go there. So, Cars and Coffee, downtown Henderson, August 9th. We'll see you there. And if you enjoyed hearing these updates about the city and the county, we will also offer a State of Education, and that'll be August 21st at the Henderson County Public Library. With that, I'll let you all get back to your days. Treat each other well, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.